my if you go back and listen, I won't spoil the whole thing, but my biggest critique was I didn't like Brandon Lee in it. I won't make the same joke I did live by accident.
Yeah, please don't. Please.
I kind of want to tell our listeners though that like so stupid, but it was funny, but it was so dumb. I didn't mean to. I said he couldn't act to save his life, and I literally didn't mean anything by it. But ironic, choice of words that really matters in the world. I
That
think.
was horrible. You're canceled. You're officially canceled.
Ow!
Anyway.
Son of a bitch! Karma just hit me really quick.
See, that's what you get.
All right, main event time. Christy, since you didn't watch it, you want to lead us in?
Sure.
Now.
All right.
Now.
So,
I'm just kidding. Everyone probably thinks I'm the biggest asshole.
Our main event for tonight, for this episode, is The Crow. And this was in theaters. Gash and Brandon got into this one. Soulmates, Eric Draven and Shelley Webster.
Wait. Soulmates.
Oh, stop it.
I need a
Let
voice.
me read the damn thing.
Yeah, let's get through this. This thing hurt me.
Soulmates, Eric Draven and Shelley Webster are brutally murdered when the demons of her dark past catch up with them. Given the chance to save his true love by sacrificing himself, Draven returns to seek bloody revenge against the killers, traversing the worlds of the living and the dead to put the wrong things right.
I will say this real. All right, so last week me and Gash did a retro review of The Crow because I've never seen it, and I gave it a 6 out of 10. I didn't like it as much as Gash. This is one of Gash's top 5 movies, so you guys know where we're at with. This is a reboot of one of Gash.
Love the original. Love the original.
My if you go back and listen, I won't spoil the whole thing, but my biggest critique was I didn't like Brandon Lee in it. I won't make the same joke I did live by accident.
Yeah, please don't. Please.
I kind of want to tell our listeners though that like so stupid, but it was funny, but it was so dumb. I didn't mean to. I said he couldn't act to save his life, and I literally didn't mean anything by it. But ironic, choice of words that really matters in the world. I
That
think.
was horrible. You're canceled. You're officially canceled.
Ow!
Anyway.
Son of a bitch! Karma just hit me really quick.
See, that's what you get. That's what you get. The damn camera's bouncing all around.
Oh, I just need my desk so hard. Oh god.
See.
Anyway.
Yeah. Before you start, though, Brandon, doesn't that synopsis sound familiar?
Yeah.
It's the same synopsis as basically the original.
It is, yeah.
So
this is a reboot.
a remake?
This is
It's
a
a
reboot.
reboot.
And let me say right off the bat, it's a reboot. It did not need to happen. And here's why. The original, though I didn't like it, I recognize that most people loved it. When that movie came out, I mean, people were dressing up as the Crow. The Crow was everywhere. That face paint was iconic. And when the movie's I think when a movie hits a certain pop culture level, you don't touch it no more. You'll leave it alone.
Classic level. It's almost like a cult classic level.
Exactly. And the problem was the way the Crow is written, you didn't need to reboot it. If you just tell another Crow story. Why
do it with somebody else?
Exactly. Every one of these is self-contained, so why reboot this? That's my biggest thing right now. Before you even get into it, I don't know why they would reboot something so iconic. It'd be like rebooting Rocky. Who the frick's going to watch that,
Yeah.
This movie sucked. Sorry,
By the way, don't give anyone ideas, okay? We don't need a reboot of Rocky.
Well, he's done 75 of those, so
yeah, he'll reboot it himself.
Actually, he is doing another one. It's a prequel though. But anyway,
really?
Yeah. It's before the fight with Apollo. Anyway, so Brandon, I'm gonna let you guess. How do you think I went into this movie?
If you can't see, I'm folding my arms.
Arms crossed. I don't want to like this.
Chin
crap.
up. Nah, get off my lawn, movie. Get off my lawn.
I love the original. It's iconic to me. I know there are problems with it, and Brandon brings up Brandon Lee's acting. I conceded that a little bit to you, did I not? I'm like, okay, I can see what you're talking about. Is he the best actor ever? No, I just like the story, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I kept going back to.
Yep.
So the story is the big part of this for me. Well, to me, they bastardized the story in this one. Like, let me start with what's good. Brandon, a problem you had with the original as well, it was too dark. Not the theme, the lighting.
The lighting,
like,
yeah.
Specifically, the way it was shot was too dark.
Yes.
That's fixed in this one. Like, look-wise, it looks better,
Yeah,
right?
it does.
Like, it's shot better light. I'll give it that. Way more violence in this one. I mean, you could say that there's bad things that happen in the original, but, I mean, you want some gore, it's in this one.
Yeah.
The fighting in the second half of this movie is probably it's John Wick / Matrix-esque. Like, I would say there's some gung fu and Matrix type stuff going on in there.
Yeah.
Christy loves it when I say gung fu. But with that being said, they totally screwed the story up. Like, did you feel an attachment between the two leads?
It was awful, and they spent like a freaking hour on it. Like, no, it was terrible. See, like the original, they did it in flashbacks, and I felt way more connection in this flashbacks, and I felt they did a way better job telling that story in the original.
Stealing the words right out of my mouth.
This one,
This is called The Crow, right?
Yeah, no.
This is called The Crow. When is the first time we see him with his face painted? An hour and 10 minutes into this movie.
Yeah, they're on the love
makes no
story.
sense.
They try to build this love story, make you care. This guy comes back from the dead for a girl he dated for 6 minutes, and I didn't believe the chemistry
Correct.
between them for those 6 minutes. Right? It was
Correct.
terrible.
It's almost like this tries to be too artsy. Like, it's almost like an art house, The Crow.
Yeah, it's like
I don't believe the
Timu
main
Crow.
bad guy in this one. Like,
No,
I don't think he's a well-written bad guy.
I don't either.
So yeah, I mean, like, just leave this movie alone. Don't do any more remakes. Don't do any more sequels. Just leave the original what it is. Even Brandon, who's saying he wasn't in love with the first one, realizes this is a horrible copy of that original movie.
It's a bastardized version of that original. Yes, I don't have a lot to say.
I see this in theaters.
I like the last 15 minutes. That's the only positive thing I'm going to say about the damn movie. And it was
The
lit
last
better.
half hour is what I said.
Yeah.
The last half hour, action wise, and he. The one thing I will give it, Brandon, and I hate to spoil it, but I'm going to bust this. I'm telling everybody right now. So don't watch this, so I'm going to ruin something. I did like the effect of the fact that his blood was black and everybody else's was red, so there was the dichotomy on his face and on the walls and the black and red part of that. I liked how they did that.
Yeah.
Short of that, I could deal without this.
Wish they put some of that effort into actually making the movie good, but I don't know what to say. The first hour, I almost like turned. Oh, this is stupid. This is like one of the worst things I ever watched. Like at that point, I was this worst movie I've seen this year. Like I really was. It was just boring. Like, it took too long to get into it. When I got into it, it wasn't as bad. But at that point, like Jesus Lord, it's like we're professional wrestlers. So the first 4 minutes of our match suck. You know how hard it is to get back to crowd back into it. That's what this felt like. I could not get back into it at all. He's just not a likable guy. He's not intimidating. That was my. Maybe they're not. Maybe the Crow's not supposed to be intimidating. Like maybe that's my.
Because Brandon Lee wasn't either. He
Yeah.
made that comment as well.
Yeah, this guy was getting bullied and stuff. I'm like, I ain't scared. I'll beat this guy up. He come back, I'll punch him in the face. Like I don't know. It's just. I just didn't like it. Like I wish I had better critiques. It's just boring. Like that love story sucked the soul out of my life. Like it made my eyes bleed black because I died inside.
I will say we are not alone. This is getting butchered by fans. Fans like it a little bit more than the critics. The critics killed this thing.
Well, they
Scott,
got
were
one
you
right
following
finally.
this? Were you following this before it came out? Were fans kind of on board for a reboot, or were they just kind of arms crossed going in also?
Well, this thing
Like,
made
you know what I mean?
this thing made $3 or $4 million over the weekend.
And I think that.
Four-
So people, yeah,
$4 million. No one wanted to see this. Like
Yeah.
yeah.
nobody went to see it. Maybe that was just the opening night, but still, like that's.
No, it only
crap.
made $2 million on the opening night or something. It was like
Okay,
terrible.
so it was 3 or 4 for the weekend, whatever it was.
Yeah.
So
Okay, so no one was asking for this.
Why
Nope.
would you though? Would you like if they and they've talked about it? Would you like would they reboot Harry Potter?
I knew you were gonna say that.
Exactly though. Why would you watch that? I wouldn't watch it. I'll watch it for the
Your
podcast, but
mouth, sir.
like why would you if people love something so much, leave it the hell alone.
Sad.
and even though Brandon had problems with it, you still rated it as an above average
Yeah.
movie, right?
Oh, this thing's like a
and,
1
and the
a 2.
critics and fans rate the original so high. Like you said, it was like an 84 on Rotten Tomatoes or something like
Yeah,
that, right? Like
4.7 on Google.
That's fresh. That's definitely really good. So,
Yeah.
And I just love the story. I understand Brandon's problems with it, but this is not that. It's not even. It doesn't even have the same heart as that original in my opinion.
How can they have
so.
something? And I understand that the comic book's very good and very popular and people love it. How do you take something where you have a blueprint in writing
You have content. Yeah, you have.
and you have a very good idea? And the first one, like again, I was above average, but from what I understand, because I didn't watch them, the other ones after that really start
They
tanking.
go downhill very quickly. Yes,
So how
I
do you
agree.
hike so many bad movies on such a good concept? Like I don't get it. Like I feel,
because people love the first one.
yeah, well, that's what I mean. Like
That's
I don't
exactly
know,
why.
but you can't catch magic in a bottle. I guess twice. Like
Agreed.
I don't
Agreed.
know. This is a
So
bust. I mean,
that's two busts. I
yeah.
mean, like we're ending this short. I know it's the main event, but two
I
busts.
don't know what to say. It's terrible.
I cannot, in good conscience,
I'll be
tell
honest.
someone to go pay because it's still in theaters, and even once it's streaming, if you want to catch it,
I still wanna watch
the
it.
last half hour.
I still wouldn't watch it. I was daydreaming. I started working and stuff. Like this is so stupid.
I was so mad,
Yeah, I think you text me. You're like, I hate this. You were in the theater.
and then I was in the theater, and I said, I hate this shit. Is what I said.
No. Did you
And
stay for
then-
the whole thing?
Yeah, but then didn't I even say I was like, oh, the second half isn't as bad.
Yeah.
So it got a little better. The fighting is kind of cool. There's a couple cool kill scenes, but
Oh,
just the
that's
story is
terrible.
horrible.
Yeah, there's action. So yeah, some of the action is good, but nothing to make up for the atrocity that was. That's two busts for The Crow, 2024. Just go watch the original like 30
Yes.
times. Just watch that
Thank
one.
you. You're coming around. You're
I
actually
am.
liking the original a little more now.
I tell you what, watching this crap made me like the original 10,000 times better because like this was
So
terrible.
is it a 7 now? So I at least get you up to a 7 now?
I don't know. Well, that's a discussion. I'll watch it again though. I will watch it again.
Watch it in bright light. That'll help you.
I'll turn up the gamma on my
It's very
TV.
dark.
It is.
All right, guys, that's all we got for this week. Next week, we're going to come. We usually go 2 weeks between Pop or Bust, but next week, Beetlejuice comes out. So we are not going to wait. We're all going to be very excited. I think it comes out this weekend. So next week, we're going to be here Wednesday talking about Beetlejuice.